Hi, I'm Damari Gray. You're watching Reggae Boys Commentary.
This video is brought to you by Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. This video is brought to you by Starboys Juices, infusing fruits with sea moss in Philadelphia and New Jersey. Refreshing, nutritious, and delicious. There are numerous flavors to choose from. There is strawberry sea moss, peanut hard-on, beet and thing, pineapple sea moss, mango sea moss, pineapple ginger, ginger root, cucumber ginger, and so much more. Call Starboys at 1-267-904-3454. That's 1-267-904-3454. Call now and you won't be disappointed. If you think the juices were good, then try Starboys Jello, full of flavor and sumptuous. Again, call Starboys at 1-267-904-3454. That's 1-267-904-3454. Hey guys, thank you so much for taking your time out to watch this video in particular. But let me give you an update on a channel called Sport City. Yes, Sport City. It is a channel dedicated to everything related to Jamaican sports. Football, cricket, athletics, netball, rugby league, rugby union, tennis, lacrosse, swimming, you name it, we got it on Sport City. And what is the channel designed to do? It is designed to highlight Jamaican talents across all of those sporting disciplines. If you're a Jamaican and you're playing that sport, then we got you covered on Sport City. So it's quite simple, guys. Hit the subscribe button to Sport City right now. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? Well, I'm Simon Preston, and welcome back to Reggae Boys Commentary. This is the platform where we'll come together to discuss everything in relation to Jamaican football. This is your hub for everything Jamaican football related. How are you guys doing? Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please hit the like button. After you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to Reggae Boys Commentary for more content. All right, guys, are you ready to get into the gist of things? I know the last few days you have not seen any video, but here we are, and I'm going to provide some content. John Powell says, up. How are you doing, sir? And the great news is that we, in a 10-team competition, we have 3 Jamaican clubs. So that represents 30% of the teams in the tournament. And 66.7% of those Jamaican clubs have progressed to the semi-finals of the competition. Yes, that is correct. We have 2 Jamaican clubs that will be in the semi-finals of the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup. That is right. Cavalier, the top of Group A. Harbourview at the top of Group B. That is right. 2 Jamaican clubs are at the top of their respective groups, and they have advanced to the semi-finals of the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup with a game to spare. Cavalier, 3 games played, 2 wins and a draw. Harbourview, 3 games played, 2 wins and a draw. They are 2 of only 4 teams that are unbeaten in this competition. The others are Defence Force of Trinidad and Tobago and Atletico Pantoja of the Dominican Republic. Pantoja of the Dominican Republic, 3 games, 3 draws, but we'll get into those details quite soon. But before we get into those details, what I want to show you guys is this graphic right here. These were the seedings prior to the start of the competition. All right. These were the seedings before the start of the competition. And I'm going to stress something very important here. Demario McCullum says, "Good morning, Simon. Jamaican football is on the rise." Absolutely, my friend. Positivity. DJ Veneto says, "Blessed morning, bro. Blessed morning. How are you doing, brother? All is well your end?" Well, I certainly hope that you are doing okay as well. So let's get right back to this. I want you to look at this index because these are the seedings from the CONCACAF Club Rankings Index, okay? So I want you guys to be fully aware about this in particular so that you guys understand this situation. All right? Good. So now that we have this sorted, I want you to look at those teams and look at how the tables have been. All right? Good. Cibao, they were the runners up in the 2022 edition of the what it was then called the Caribbean Club Championship. They were runners up last year. But done beholden, the team that suffered 2 defeats and a draw defeated them. That's right, done beholden, who is making their debut in a CONCACAF tournament, done beholden, who is playing for the first time in this competition, done beholden, who are playing their second game on home soil, defeated a team that played in CONCACAF last year. Dunbeholden defeated a team that finished runners up of this same competition last year. And Dunbeholden defeated them 2-1 at the National Stadium last night. Do you understand what I'm saying? And Dunbeholden, coming into this, were in pot 4 for the seedings. And they defeated a team that was in pot 1. Because coming into this tournament, Cibao are the 87th ranked club in the entire CONCACAF region. Defence Force 105, Cavalier 108, Atletico Pantoja 114, Mocha 119, Harbourview 130, and Dunbeholden 131. But the teams that have automatically qualified for the semi-finals are Cavalier and Harbourview, 2 teams that were in pot 2 and pot 3 respectively when the draw was being made. You understand what I'm saying? And Robin Hood, 3 games played, and they have 2 wins and a draw, 2 wins and a loss. I mean, and remember, Robin Hood, they're coming from the Caribbean Club Shield because to qualify for the Caribbean Cup, you had to finish in the top 2 of the Caribbean Club Shield, and they've done that. Robin Hood are a point away, or even a victory, to be able to secure a spot in the semi-finals. And you know what that could mean? That Robin Hood play in the Caribbean Club Shield, Caribbean Cup, and also the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which is renamed from the CONCACAF Champions League. So they could play it all. That's like a team playing in the Conference League, the Europa League, and the Champions League in one season, but in ascending order and not descending order. Do you understand what I'm saying here? So let's look at the table now. But prior to that, I have to remind everybody that match day number 5, you're going to have 2 Jamaican clubs, namely Harbourview and Cavalier, playing away games next week, all right? So that you're aware, between Wednesday and Tuesday and Thursday next week. Between Tuesday and Thursday next week, those games will be played. So Cavalier sitting at the top of Group A presently. Okay? That's where they are, the top of Group A. And no matter what happens, Cavalier will be in the semifinals. They just need a victory to ensure that they top the group. So let's look at what's the next 2 games. All right. So Golden Lion, well, Defense Force is going to play Mocha. Defense Force is going to travel to Mocha. So whatever happens there, if it's a draw, you know, for example, Defense Force wouldn't be able to surpass Cavalier in terms of points. All right, Defense Force plays Mocha, and there's a expectation that Defense Force is going to get the better of Mocha. Cavalier plays Golden Lion, and what I would say is that Golden Lion are eliminated. So that's where things are at this point in time. They're eliminated from the competition. They can't finish in the top two. So that's where things are as it stands. So, with that being said, now, Cavalier plays Golden Lion, and a victory ensures that they'll finish at the top of the group. Go to Group B now. Oh, yeah. By the way, these fixtures are October 4th. So, October 1st is a Sunday. Monday. So, Wednesday. So, on Wednesday, these fixtures will take place. All right. And Thursday, Harborview will place Cibao. All right. Good. Now that we have that sorted now, how many games left? So the two Jamaican clubs, namely Cavalier and Harborview, they have one game left in the group stage. Dunbeholden, they've completed their 4 games. So the group stage of the competition will end next week. All right, the group stage of the competition will end next week. Tyrone Williams says, "Blessings, Simon. Blessings. How are you doing, my friend? Hope all is well with you." All right, so we're going to Group B now. And as you can see, Harborview, they have qualified for the semifinals of the competition. Cibao, Dunbeholden, yeah, cannot surpass them. And Atletico Pantoja, the most they can get to is 6 points, which is one less than Harborview. So Harborview will not be surpassed by the teams that are third, fourth, and fifth in the table. So on Thursday now, because these matches are going to take place simultaneously, Robin Hood will face Atletico Pantoja. So Robin Hood are going to be at home to Atletico Pantoja. Robin Hood are expected to move up to 9 points. And Cibao will host Harborview. Cibao, who are at the foot of the table, will host Harborview. Harborview knows that a victory will ensure that they top the group. A draw means they'll finish second. So what will happen in the semifinals and final? Now, let me just make it clear that there's not only going to be a semifinals and final, but you'll also have a third place playoff as well. And why is it that there's going to be a third place playoff? Because of what happens in terms of qualification for the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup. Okay? So that everybody's on the same page with this aspect of things. Good. So let's go back here. The schedule. Let's go to the schedule. There we go. So the semifinals will be at the end of October. First leg and second leg, the end of October. The third place playoff and final will be in that same window as well. All right. So the competition itself will end in December, but the semifinals, late October, early November, and the third place playoff and finals, mid-November into December. Everybody on the same page there? Good. So here's the situation now. If Cavalier finishes at the top of Group A, they'll face the runner-up of Group B. So let's say if Robin Hood gets to 9 points and Harborview gets a point from Cibao, that means that Cavalier would face Harborview in the semifinals. And you know what that would mean? That would mean that you would at least, well, not at least, but you will guarantee that there'll be one Jamaican club within the final. You see what I'm saying here? There'll be at least, not at least, you will guarantee to have a Jamaican club in the final if Cavalier meets Harborview in the semifinals. If Cavalier plays Harborview, if Cavalier tops Group A and Harborview tops Group B, then that means that Cavalier would face, as it stands, Robin Hood, and Harborview would face, as it stands, Mocha, possibly Defense Force. That's what things would be right now. But I want you to process this for a moment. Remember, it's only the top 3 teams that would qualify for the CONCACAF Champions Cup next year. We already have 2 Jamaican clubs within this competition in the semifinals. So if you were to think worst case scenario, which is not what I'm thinking, but I'm just painting the picture so that you understand. If Cavalier were to finish third and Harbourview were to finish fourth, that would mean that you would have at least one Jamaican club already qualified for the CONCACAF Champions Cup. So as it stands, we are going to have at least one Jamaican club in the CONCACAF Champions Cup next year. Just by virtue of being in the semi-finals, having two Jamaican clubs, we are certain that there'll be at least one Jamaican club within the semi-finals of this competition. Isn't that fantastic? Our players are going to be exposed to an even wider audience because more games will be on television, radio, covered in the print, and the eyes and lips of people. Persons are going to be saying the words Cavalier, Harbourview, the attention these clubs are going to be getting on their players and their talents as well. Persons being able to recognize the faces of these players as well. Think about the buzz that was created when Cavalier defeated Mocha not too long ago in that 3-0 victory with Chanel Thomas. Many people are saying, wow, the youngest player to score a hat-trick in the Caribbean Cup. Who is this Chanel Thomas? And this is just the beginning. Because done beholden last night, people are now starting to say, who is done beholden? Who is this club? So persons, and they were exposed to an audience of an excess of 100 million people. This is only wonders, and this is only an amazing, amazing step forward. And I know Dun Beholden are out of contention from the competition, but think about what these 4 games will do for them heading into the Jamaica Premier League season. Dun Beholden took on Harbourview, a team that they know quite well on home soil. Then they went to the Dominican Republic and took on Atletico Pantoja. Many of those players, for the first time in their life, traveling outside of Jamaica. They got a hard-earned point on the road in the Dominican Republic. They returned to Jamaica and took on Robin Hood, a stingy, stubborn Robin Hood team that rarely concedes goals. And they took on the team that finished runners-up last season and beat them 2-1 at the National Stadium. And Coach Lenny Hyde, spoke after the game that these 4 games have put Dun Beholden in a good position for the Jamaica Premier League because he admires the sharpness, he admires the attentiveness, the magnitude of how the team has been putting in the work in the training sessions. So this can only bode well for the club heading into the Jamaica Premier League season, which is slated to kick off late October thereabouts. So think about what it will do for Dun Beholden. Think about what it will do for Harbourview. And think about what it will do for Cavalier as well. Heading into the new season, the exposure of talent compared to other clubs. Yes, other clubs are preparing well for the Jamaica Premier League. Some clubs playing against each other, so they have been active in their respective preparations in pre-season. All I'm saying is that from a Dun Beholden perspective, they took on a team from Suriname, they took on 2 teams from the Dominican Republic, and they took on a team domestically as well in Harbourview, right? You look at Cavalier, they didn't play any team that is domestic based. They took on a team from Trinidad and Tobago in Port of Spain. They took on Defense Force also from Trinidad and Tobago. They took on Mocha as well. And then they're going to end the group stages of the campaign against Golden Lion. Think about the experience for these players, getting the experience of travel, going to the Eastern Caribbean, overnighting, taking a boat to a certain destination. All of this experience is valuable for them. Absolutely valuable for them because they're going to be exposed to a level of travel, a level of what they know, because this is what the professional football is like. You train, you play, you travel, you repeat. And these players are getting into that habit, that mindset that will only help them when they become national team players or parading their talent overseas at another club. So for me, this has to be, all of this experience has to be viewed in a positive light for all of the Jamaican clubs involved. Nobody can deny that at all for what this has happened and taken place. Because this experience for all the Jamaican clubs are valuable. So I know what's next. Well, Cavalier, they will face Golden Lion next week, and Harbourview, they'll face Cibao next week. At the end of that, we will see how the groups end. Cavalier, will they be at the top or second? Harbourview, first or second? And then from there, we'll be able to see the semifinals and final. I repeat, the semifinals, home and away, third place playoff, home and away. The final, home and away. So, yes, it will be two-legged. And again, the team that wins this competition will advance to the round of 16 of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And the second and third place teams will qualify to the preliminaries of the competition. All right? Who are the teams so far in this competition? Well, I'm going to paint the picture for you guys. The teams that have qualified so far for this competition: Inter Miami, Pachuca, Vancouver Whitecaps, Calvary. And look at this, folks. Look at the screen right now. Look at the screen right now. You see this Jamaican flag right here? You know why this is here? Because, quite simply, no matter what happens from now on, there's going to be a Jamaican team qualifying for this competition, because you have two Jamaican clubs in the semi-finals. And worst case scenario, they finish fourth and third, which means that you will have a Jamaican club qualifying for the CONCACAF Champions Cup. All right? Just as I said. Costa Rica, you will have a few representatives there from the Central American Cup. Nashville FC, they've qualified, and so has Philadelphia Union. Who knows? You could have Andre Blake and Damian Lowe in Philadelphia Union playing against Harbour View at the National Stadium. That would be a nice occasion. I don't think Andre Blake and Damian Lowe have played a club game in Jamaica for their MLS franchise, so this would be a new experience for them. And both individuals have some affiliation with the club as well, so it would be emotional in that aspect, nostalgic. From Mexico, Guadalajara, Monterrey, America, Toluca, Unal will be there. From Major League Soccer, FC Cincinnati, they've qualified, and so is Houston Dynamo. So a few more slots to be allocated. The Supporter Shield winner is still to be allocated, and also the other conference regular season first place will also be there in terms of the team that can go on. So this MLS season is still quite compelling. There's still a lot of twists and turns that can take place. The playoffs start October 25, I believe. That's when the playoffs will start, October 25. So I think it's a good look that, how the season has been progressing in that sort of standpoint. So we're looking forward to it. New York City, they're right now in the wild card round spot. So we're looking for Tavon Gray and his team to continue that push up the table. Right now, it's only Toronto FC and Colorado Rapids. Those are the only two teams that cannot qualify for the playoffs of Major League Soccer. Apart from them, everybody else can qualify for the playoffs itself. So that's where we are from that sort of standpoint, so that everybody understands. Good. So you guys know, if you guys have any questions at all, you guys can pose it to me. You guys know, any question in the world you have, you can pose it to me to explain this if you need. But I've just given you a comprehensive breakdown of the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup. We will have a Jamaican team in the CONCACAF Champions Cup next year, and we're hoping that a Jamaican team can win this competition, because there's a strong possibility that it could be Inter Miami and Messi and company playing against a Jamaican club. If you listen to the press conferences, even Ludlow Bernard was saying we want to bring Lionel Messi to Jamaica. So the mindset, the motivation is there for Cavalier. The motivation is there for Harbourview to go and win the competition, because they want to rub shoulders with the best teams in the region, as they should. We should all have ambition, and we're absolutely happy for this 150%. Folks, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be doing another breakdown later today of a couple of other videos. I know you guys have been wondering about the Nations League squad. An announcement will be made in the next week. All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary for more content.
Hi, I'm Damari Gray. You're watching Reggae Boys Commentary.
This video is brought to you by Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. This video is brought to you by Starboys Juices, infusing fruits with sea moss in Philadelphia and New Jersey. Refreshing, nutritious, and delicious. There are numerous flavors to choose from. There is strawberry sea moss, peanut hard-on, beaten thing, pineapple sea moss, mango sea moss, pineapple ginger, ginger root, cucumber ginger, and so much more. Call Starboys at 1-267-904-3454. That's 1-267-904-3454. Call now and you won't be disappointed. If you think the juices were good, then try Starboys Jello, full of flavor and sumptuous. Again, call Starboys at 1-267-904-3454. That's 1-267-904-3454.